Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Both major parties have become embroiled in allegations of cronyism after the publication of David Cameron's resignation honours list. The former Prime Minister was probably braced for criticism after much of the list of allies, aides and Conservative Party donors was leaked ahead of publication. But the Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn, also came under fire for nominating the former Director of Liberty, Chakrabarti, for a peerage, just months after her report cleared the party of institutionalised anti-Semitism. Fatima Manji reports.
David Cameron has long held a reputation for running a chamocracy. That image of him might now be permanently cemented in the public imagination, as he's accused of handing out honours and peerages to his pals. Those dubbed Cameron's cronies include his former Director of Communications, Craig Oliver, Will Straw, who ran the unsuccessful Remain campaign, and Isabel Spearman, a former special advisor to Samantha Cameron. In total, 46 former aides and allies have been rewarded in the resignation honours list. 13 new Tories have also been elevated to the House of Lords. Opposition figures say it's a national scandal.
David Cameron didn't have to appoint 13 friends and allies to the House of Lords. Theresa May had the power to block it. She chose not to, and therefore she is complicit in this as well.
Lib Dem leader Tim Farron said the list would embarrass a medieval court.
We tried to contact many of those newly honoured. They all seemed to be unavailable and even abroad. The man, soon to be Sir Craig Oliver, told us he was going on holiday. There's also been an absence of Conservative parliamentarians willing to discuss the issue. One senior Tory figure told us he believes it's inappropriate that the Lords has become a reward system for those who are inexperienced and junior.
Jeremy Corbyn, out campaigning in Wales, led a somewhat out-of-tune rendition of the red flag.
We'll keep the red flag flying here.
But perhaps more embarrassing, he now has to defend appointing Shami Chakrabarti to the Lords, when he's previously said he wouldn't create any peers.
She will make a great contribution to the House of Lords for two reasons. One, she's a brilliant lawyer who will bring those skills to the House of Lords, and secondly, she's committed to the abolition of the House of Lords and replacement with a democratically elected assembly. Otherwise, I wouldn't have dreamt of supporting her nomination.
Ms Chakrabarti recently chaired an inquiry which found Labour isn't overrun with anti-Semitism.
Our Jewish friends are no
But Jewish leaders, including the chief rabbi, say today's peerage means the credibility of her report lies in tatters, a view supported by some of the party's own MPs.
David Cameron has once again managed to appoint a whole load of cronies, Conservative Party donors and former special advisors to the House of Lords, and we should be holding him to account, not participating in David Cameron's resignation honours list. And I don't understand why Jeremy Corbyn thought it was a good idea to make any appointments, let alone appointing someone who was meant to be leading an independent investigation into anti-Semitism.
She has the highest integrity and she is inscrutable in the work she does. So I think it highly unlikely. But of course the fact that she's been appointed to the Lords in this way lends her open to that attack, and that's a great shame.
With Labour embroiled in its own internal leadership battle, it's perhaps lost another opportunity to more clearly condemn the Tories. Mr Cameron's rewards for friends and allies through honours and peerages may further inflame public distrust of politicians.
Fatima Manji there. Well, it's been a difficult week for the UK Independence Party. Its election to find a successor for Nigel Farage as leader got off to a stormy start, as one of its leading figures, MEP Stephen Woolfe, was barred from standing after missing the deadline for nominations by 17 minutes. But this programme has learnt that there could be more trouble ahead for Mr Woolfe and his party. Our political correspondent Michael Crick is in Birmingham tonight. Michael, what are the implications for Mr Woolfe? Tell us more.
Well, Greater Manchester Police confirmed to Channel 4 News today that they've had a complaint of possible electoral fraud relating to the 2012 elections and that they're making inquiries. And it's my understanding that this relates to Stephen Woolfe standing as a police and crime commissioner in Manchester in 2012. Now, earlier this week, before he was barred from standing for the UKIP leadership, Mr Wolf admitted that back in 2002 he'd been convicted of a drink driving offence. Now, the rules on police and crime commissioners are extremely strict. If you've got any kind of criminal conviction any time in your past, you're simply barred from standing. But Mr Wolf went ahead and stood in 2012. He says he forgot about his drink driving conviction at the time he stood. So that means he could be in some trouble. The police say that at the moment they're simply making preliminary inquiries. This is not yet a full-scale investigation.
And Michael, what are the implications for UKIP as a party here? Are there any?
Yes, it could be much serious, because the big question is, did anybody in UKIP know about Mr Wolf's drink driving conviction at the time that they nominated him as a candidate for Police and Crime Commissioner? Now, a story is going around in UKIP, I've heard from a couple of sources today, is that there was a meeting held in London of senior UKIP people in the summer of 2012, at which Mr Wolf, in some distress, confessed that he got this drink driving conviction and was told that he needn't worry, he could go ahead and still stand for Police and Crime Commissioner. Now, if that's the case, then UKIP could be open to possible conspiracy charges. Nigel Farage told me tonight he knew nothing about Mr Wolf's drink driving conviction back in 2012, and if he had known about it, he would have stopped him from standing for the post of PCC in Greater Manchester.
Michael, thanks very much.